Germany's pension Ponzi is collapsing and America is not far behind. The warning comes from one Thomas Colby via Zero Hedge, who notes that Germany's pension scheme is already out of money, sustained only by annual 123 billion euro infusions from the federal budget. That's a quarter of Germany's federal budget. So in U.S. terms, it's like transferring an annual $1.5 trillion to Social Security's whole. The problem is Germany has a so-called pay-as-you-go pension system, meaning they spent all the surpluses in the first couple decades, the buildup of the Ponzi. Then when it hits zero, they have to plug the hole from current taxes. By the way, American Social Security works exactly the same way, with our 0 point set to hit in about 8 to 10 years. But it's already hit in Germany for three reasons: a shrinking workforce, Germans aren't having babies; soaring government spending driven by low-income welfare-gobbling migrants, along with massive increases in military spending; and third, suicidal green energy policies destroying the jobs and economic growth that pays for it all. So Germany has just 46 million workers, but has 21 million pensioners. That's growing by about 500,000 a year. In other words, there's just 2 workers for every retiree in Germany. As for spending, migrant unemployment benefits alone cost about $200 billion a year in U.S. terms. Throw in remedial schooling, many of them can't read, free housing, and free healthcare, and that could double. On top, NATO members just pledged to triple military spending to pacify Trump, which would cost Germany, again in U.S. terms, hundreds of billions per year. Meanwhile, the German economy has been limping at just 1.2% growth for a decade now, thanks to massive overregulation and a government that takes half of GDP. Industrial output is actually below what it was in 2013. It nosedived in 2020 when Germany effectively banned fossil fuels and nuclear, shutting down generation plants one by one. So far, they've shuttered nearly 14% of power generation. This has nearly tripled energy prices, which destroyed productivity in energy-intensive manufacturing like steel and cars. It's now 20% below where it was in 2019. Manufacturing lost 120,000 jobs in the last year alone. U.S. terms, that's like losing 500,000. This all matters because Donald Trump is doing everything he can to lure German industry to the U.S., along with their 5.5 million jobs, with lower red tape and taxes, lower energy prices, and a big, beautiful tariff umbrella. So what's next? Brought to you by I Trust Capital. For now, Germany will keep propping up the Ponzi by hiking taxes and draining general revenue. But they can't outrun the buzzsaw without economic growth and radical cuts to government spending. That means ditching the green fantasy, the regulatory leviathan, and cutting taxes and spending, especially on mass migration. Unfortunately, there is massive political opposition to all of these, meaning they'll keep kicking the can into the abyss, following Japan into stagnation until they run out of money, at which point Germany will rug pull millions of elderly on pensions, while the country itself becomes, as Politico put it, a, quote, open-air museum for American and Chinese tourists. As for the U.S., while Social Security faces the same fate, Trump is working on it. He's working on faster growth, at least slowing federal spending, and, of course, mass deportation. If someday Congress pitches in, we could even level out the plane. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.